Hi, it's Robin Raskin, founder of the Virtual Events Group. In part one of this series, we looked at why virtual events are here to stay. In part two, we looked at how to make them more engaging. And now, today, in part three, we're going to look at our future, which is really a hybrid event. You know, the cost of hybrid events could give somebody a heart attack. Even though everybody wants both virtual and in real life at the same time, it really ups the cost of an event to have it both ways. And so we're going to have to make some serious decisions about whether you want an event in real life and in the virtual world at the same time, whether you want to divide them up, whether you want to create a year of different kinds of events. And that's what we're here to talk about today. So take a look at these statistics and see how creating a virtual event is not an inexpensive proposition. And then think about how we move to a hybrid world. Because there's nothing weirder than somebody being on stage with a few people in the audience staring at their phones to connect with the other people who are out in the virtual world. And, as I said, there's nothing more expensive either. So hybrid right now is viewed as a bit of a dirty word. It's got a lot of definitions. Some people just live stream. Some people try and actually engage the audience. Some people do it at different times. Some people do it at the same time. It's expensive, and it's got double the moving parts. The speakers can be anywhere. The participants can be anywhere, which makes it all super confusing. So think of it like this. You've got 2 events, 2 budgets, and 2 headaches. So maybe we get rid of that thought of hybrid and we look at what works best asynchronously and synchronously. When do you need to be together and when can you be virtual? Maybe you watch a lecture at home and in person you discuss. Maybe you come together for brainstorming events. So it's time to deconstruct the normal idea of an event and think about how you're going to integrate these 2 things. Hybrid is great for wide reach, but sometimes you don't want wide reach. You want very specific, targeted reach and the right network in the right room. So if it's a speaker-only event, where you have them live, you could have great production value because only the speakers are in the room, less tech problems, more synergy amongst the speaker, but it feels really dry to participants. On the other hand, when you're working 2 crowds at once, you need a really good MC. And you really need to take advantage of the fact that you're talking to people in the real world and in the virtual world at the same time. And a good MC will be able to make use of that and really draw them in. So start thinking about events not as just one event, but maybe a subscription that you do throughout the year. For right now, outdoor venues and warmer venues are rocking it because the spacing is so much better. And whatever you decide, you need a teched-up venue, a venue that is ready to stream live, and a venue that has the video equipment and audio equipment you need to make it successful. Also, think about your sponsors differently. Sponsors, it was fine if they just got their name recognition on a screen in the real world. They've sort of got to be intrinsically built into your program now. They can do raffles and charities. They can do quizzes and polls and icebreakers. And your sales staff needs to listen to your sponsors, figure out exactly what they need, and then create a package that makes time for them. And also, for the first time in the virtual world, you can engage your sponsors even before the show starts, and that becomes vitally important. So you've got a big palette to play with. And lots of new inventory to sell. Just some examples of a friend of mine who did something in Atlanta. It was a fintech conference. Somebody sponsored the kickoff reception. Somebody sponsored an escape game. So think creatively about where your sponsors can engage organically and feel very much at home and have the spotlight very much shown on them during your virtual event. have an amplification plan. You definitely want, if you're streaming and it's free, let's just say you're using Zoom, you want to restream onto all your other outlets. And that includes LinkedIn, and that includes Facebook. And it's very easy to use either restreaming software or Zoom itself to send it out to other outlets. Hint, keep the other outlets sound off. There's always a delay in time, and you don't want to hear yourself echoing. If it's a paid event, identify your audience on social media and target them, and make your social media actionable. So, for example, on our Looped conference we did on the virtual events group, that graphic is actually a way to reserve your spot. It is actionable. It is not just an announcement. Click on it, and you do get registered for the event. And you can be social before your event even starts. I'm going to call out Shop Talk here because they did a fabulous job of pivoting when their event was canceled. They polled every attendee, and based on the things you were interested in seeing, they matched you up with people both sitting at tables to have table talks and individually that they thought you should meet. And they listed the appointments and sent you your agenda. It was fantastic software, and without ever having a live show, people raved that they were doing great business. And if you're not Shop Talk and don't have money to invest in your own software, here's a company called Twine. Twine is an add-on to Zoom or many other platforms. You can actually use Twine to speed network. So I can meet other people at the event. I could meet in a breakout room. I could meet in a pre-event room where we meet each other before the event even starts. And there's matching so that you are not wasting your time meeting people you don't want to meet, but you're meeting people where there's a common interest. And that is twine.nyc. Check it out for sure. Other ways to involve your sponsors. And this was the Atlantic Festival. The Atlantic magazine, I don't have to tell you, is very careful about church and state and what's editorial and what's advertising. But they built in Facebook sessions that were sponsored by Facebook. They were fantastic, and they were just a part of the event. So think about your sponsors as being a part of your event, not something totally separate. Your audience in the virtual world is much more willing to accept that. Here's another great one, CoinDesk. CoinDesk had a virtual event, and with your ticket, when you purchased your ticket, you got some NFTs or non-fungible tokens that could be redeemed. You actually got things called desk coins that could be redeemed for points. Every time you did something like went to a meeting or went to a networking or attended a session, and you could redeem those things for experiences like lunch with the speaker and stuff like mugs and t-shirts. Again, make that virtual event extend by using NFTs as part of your built-in reward system. Buzzcast, another great platform for virtual events, just added NFTs to their event offerings. So you can, when you choose their package to deliver your seminars and your sessions, you can add non-fungible tokens right into the platform itself. And it really gamifies the event and makes it fun. And new frontiers are emerging. We're not just talking about people talking to you in webinars. Think about the world of the metaverse and how it's being used. Imagine attending a virtual event as an avatar. You dress up, you teleport yourself to various rooms. There are places to party and dance, but there are also places to conduct R&D and listen to lectures. And there's also audio proximity, which means I can be standing next to you and having a conversation, and we are sort of in a cone of silence where people around us cannot hear or see us. Right now, the metaverse, and I've written a lot about this, so take a look on our website. The metaverse is a little wonkish to get real business done, but a fabulous place to explore, network, and get to know each other. And as you know, with things like Mesh from Microsoft and Meta from Facebook. The metaverse world is growing really quickly. Others to look at are Roblox, and look at Verbella, and look at Fortnite as examples of engaging metaverse opportunities. So remember, people are looking for engagement, and they're looking for new engagements, and that means this is a very fast-changing world. And exhibitors, attendees, and sponsors are finding a lot of good things to say about virtual events and moving their money to more virtual and digital engagements that will be able to be measured very carefully by the end of this year. And think about your team. You say, now, how am I going to do this? We're not staffed up for this. Look at the talent that has emerged during the pandemic within your own office. I guarantee it might be the office manager. It might be the person who filled the printer paper. It might be anybody who has an aptitude for video, for social media, for restreaming. Look at augmenting your staff with sites like Fiverr and Upwork, where you can get people with the skills you need. Where is your hidden talent for this new world within your organization? And it is all about community building and video. And think about the post-show possibilities. You now have successfully completed your virtual event. It's time to start chunking up your content. Use it on social media. Put it on your YouTube channel. Put it in 1-second bites. Nothing should go wasted, because your post-show metrics, not only can they be sponsored, but they will spur your next show. So start counting everything, every engagement, every tap, and use those post-show metrics to your advantage. It's a pretty exciting world out there, and virtual is here to stay, and we are going to spend most of 2022 experimenting with all the possibilities. The bar is rising quickly, and I hope you've enjoyed this 3-part series on virtual events. See you on the Virtual Events Group, virtualeventsgroup.org. Bye.